And the Minister of Education confirms his readiness to start schools from Sunday and providing safe environment to ensure safety of students and workers. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent cable of greetings to His Excellency President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey on his country's 97th anniversary of the Declaration of the Republic. His Majesty the Sultan received a cable of thanks from His Majesty King Felipe VI of Spain in reply to a greetings cable sent by His Majesty the Sultan on the occasion of his country's National Day. The Tender Board, in its fifth meeting of the year, assigned development projects at an estimated value of more than 158.5 million Omani Riyals. The most important projects were the establishment of a section for late Sultan Qaboos bin Said at the National Museum, supply of medicines and vaccines to the Ministry of Health, supply of surgical hospital supplies to the Ministry of Health, and the additional works of the second phase of the project of the second part of Al-Sharqiyya Dual Expressway. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Saeed bin Mohammed Al-Saqri, Minister of Economy and Chairman of the Tender Board. Members of the COVID-19 Supreme Committee held its 18th press conference today to discuss the latest developments on the pandemic. The Minister of Health registered 618 new cases and 5 deaths reported in the last 24 hours. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, said that most of the cases are due to community transmission, which recorded 80%, and the rest 20% from institutions. The Minister of Health said the Supreme Committee decided that there is no risk from using the fingerprints device to mark the attendance of employees, provided necessary precautionary measures are taken. His Excellency said the Sultan is seeking to obtain the vaccines from any approved institution or company, adding that they have reserved a large number of vaccines amounting to 1.8 million doses, and they are targeting to vaccinate at least 60% of citizens and residents. He said the night closure and the prevention of gathering in farms and on beaches during the past 2 weeks led to a decrease in the number of people in the intensive care units. The Minister said they follow the principle of transparency while accounting or announcing the laboratory confirmed cases in the Sultanate. He said the Sultanate did not reach the second wave, and what happened actually is a fluctuation in the numbers between high and low. His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Khamis Busaidi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Education, said the ministry continues to work with the telecommunications companies to provide suitable internet packages for schools. He said school hours for students in grades 1 to 4 will be between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., while grades 5 to 11 between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., and for grades 12 between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. He said 82% of schools will implement the e-learning, 10% blended education, and 7% through full attendance. On his part, Dr. Ali bin Ahmed Al-Jahwari, Director General of the Directorate General of Education in the Governorate of Muscat, said that the ministry put up precautionary procedures for school buses, pointing out that they are also supervising committees to support schools in the application of the health standards. He added that the committees started their work in cooperation with the Ministry of Health to visit schools to ensure that the precautionary measures are being followed, as well as to deal with any COVID-19 cases if detected. Nasser bin Abdullah Al-Abri, Director General of Information Technology in the Ministry of Education, pointed out that the ministry worked with telecommunications company in the Sultanate to provide computers and offers for internet packages with suitable prices. He added that a technical team was formed in the ministry's level, and it put up the technical standards for the devices that the education platforms are going to work through. And Omar bin Abdullah Al-Qatabi, Senior Executive Manager of the Telecommunications Regulatory Authority, said they have coordinated with the Ministry of Social Development to obtain social security numbers of families. He added that internet services will be available within 2 weeks in a number of villages. He also said that the authority currently is working on providing a competitive environment for communications in the Sultanate. He further added that telecommunication companies have submitted offers for providing devices and packages, and these range between 90 and 500 Omani Riyals. Dr. Saif bin Salim Al-Abri, Director General of Disease Surveillance and Control at the Ministry of Health, said that quarantine is important despite the laboratory examination because the virus may be in the incubation stage. He said the negative results of the test gives a false impression that the person is not infected, and this is not accurate because some quarantined people have showed symptoms on 14th day of quarantine. They say the number of deaths continues to be high despite the lockdown, adding that it will take 2 weeks for lockdown to show results, so we can expect the death toll to come down. Dr. Saif Al-Abri said the positive rate of 6% is reported in the examinations conducted at border crossings. He added that the closures are to protect the health sector to be able to absorb cases. He said the Ministry of Health has worked on a special policy for epidemiological surveillance inside schools, and health personnel are now being trained on it, so students can be monitored from the moment they leave home and return back. He said that more than 509,000 examinations are conducted in the Sultanate, and the positive rate of these tests was 22%, adding that the deaths reported from society have decreased sharply, and the most of them took place in the hospitals. Still to come, our news bulletin. Graduates in the government of Brahmi use their qualifications and specializations to establish successful projects. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Wearing masks and sanitizing hands has become a daily priority of many individuals during the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. As the number of those infected by the coronavirus increase along with fatalities, it is necessary for all to adhere to the precautionary measures to limit further spread of the virus. The members of the community shall follow the safety instructions of washing hands continuously, keeping physical distance from each other, and to avoid crowded places. On the other hand, there are some individuals that do not adhere to the precautionary measures, which led to the increase of COVID-19 cases in the society. The economic and social activities shall continue during the pandemic, but following the preventive measures shall be everyone's priority. Within the framework to enhance Gulf joint work in the field of health in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the Excellencies, the Undersecretaries of the Ministries of Health in the GCC countries held their 6th preparatory meeting today. The meeting discussed the decisions of the Supreme Council in its 40th round, as well as to enhance the strategic partnerships and develop joint work mechanisms. It also focused on the vision of the Secretariat General regarding joint work in the health field after the COVID-19 pandemic. The meeting also reviewed the reports that were prepared by the Secretariat General on the health efforts exerted by Gulf countries in facing the COVID-19 pandemic and to limit its spread. Graduates and academics in the Governorate of Brahmi during their job-seeking period used their qualifications and specializations to establish successful projects and provide employment opportunities for other job seekers. One of the Omani youth in the Governorate who has a bachelor's degree in business management decided to open an office for finishing transactions. Meanwhile, another one specialized in programming, design and smartphone applications, started his own company in this field. One of the Omani youth decided to establish his own project in decor and designing after acquiring enough experience for 8 years. It's worth mentioning that using academic qualifications in entrepreneurship field will pave the way for successful projects, along with the passion, support and financial aid from bodies concerned. You're watching this on Oman television. Before tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan greets His Excellency the President of Turkey on his country's 97th anniversary of the Declaration of the Republic. The tender board decides projects of establishing a section of late Sultan Qaboos bin Said at the National Museum and the entrustment of the supply of medicines and vaccines and other projects with more than 158.5 million Omani Riyals. The Minister of Health announces that infections are nearing 115,000 cases and confirms that the Sultanate reserved more than 1.8 million vaccine doses for the internationally approved companies. And the Minister of Education confirms its readiness to start schools from Sunday and providing safe environment to ensure safety for students and workers. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for your time. Good night.